Hi, I'm John Solari, host of the Method Active Speaks. And today we have the lovely Kim
Kingsley.
Kingsley?
Yes.
All right. Because you had your other name?
We had a name change.
Okay, we had a name change. But is that your stage name?
Okay,
what name do you go in the theater?
Kingsley now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not even, this is my third last name.
Really? Your third last?
Because my father's last name was awful. It was awful.
Oh, so you changed it?
Yes, I changed it to my mother's last name.
Oh.
But then that just didn't have very good juju, so I decided to change it again.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Now you can see yourself in the camera, so try to lean towards me
a
little bit. And I'm gonna. Now, before we get into your real passion, which I believe is your animals, and I know you really love animals. It's interesting how women. The programs when I was down for the Indy, Justice for Indy at the courthouse a few times.
Okay.
And it's mostly women who show up to help animals.
Okay. Yes.
Very few men.
I mean, there's men in rescue. There's a couple I can think of. There's
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, one more than a couple. There's a guy right in Van Nuys, Kyle Schwab. It's amazing that takes in the most difficult dogs that they're ready to put down, and he just knows how to deal. And he's gotten some. He's amazing. He's amazing. And there's a few guys like that. I mean, there's more than a few. There are more women. But there's men. There's another one I can think of down in San Diego. There's German Shepherds, Bruce and Curter. So yeah, there's several. So it is more women.
It is more women.
Yeah.
But and you're more into German Shepherds. You like?
Well, I like German Shepherds, Rotties.
You want the big dogs.
And pitties. But there's a little dog that I saw, and its face just spoke to me that I just posted. So I'm trying to get a rescue. Find a reputable rescue that I could foster, because I need 5 dogs in my house. It's just a little thing I thought I could foster, and I have 6 cats.
That's amazing. Because I reposted the one you have.
Yeah, but that little one that I want.
Like a terrier.
Yeah, I want to foster it.
And no one got in touch yet.
No rescue yet. I'm gonna have to find one myself. But
is it difficult?
I don't. Just finding ones that are reputable. Unfortunately, you get a lot of people in rescue that are self-serving and self-seeking, and people pledge and they want to help these dogs, and they pledge dollars, and unscrupulous rescues take the money and they dump dogs elsewhere. I mean, you really have to know the rescue. So I've got to find one that'll. They're active. They have pet fairs. They're active in Pet Finder and all that other stuff, so that the dog doesn't stay with me too long. Because they have a habit at my house of just never leaving.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was just thinking when you said that. Excuse me. Then I guess a lot of them could rescue the dogs and sell them to, where they do testing and.
Yeah, there's actually a woman that does rescue in Lake Elsinore down by Temecula, and she does all the animals that come from testing facilities. They've never seen the light of day. And she's got several blind cats, where they've squirted whatever in their eyes. And so, I mean, most rescues are good. You just have to watch out for those that are, they'll take the money and they really won't do anything for the animal. And unfortunately, with the proliferation of Facebook, which has been great for animals, but at the same time you just have people who are, I've gotten people sending me emails, oh, you pledged for this dog and I didn't, and they are trying to get money, and they I don't know how they finagle it so that they have the link, and you just have to watch it. You really have to watch in your rescue.
Are there telltale signs that you look for when they're not correct?
Well, there's certain things, like say with pit bulls, people, you have a lot of pit bull euthanization. We live in LA, which is a breeding ground for backyard breeders, unfortunately. And when people say that they can get, pit bulls placed really quickly, in a few weeks, they're probably lying. because pitties take, even the best rescues can take 6 months or more to place a pit bull.
Really?
Because like say in a building like this, they may have a breed restriction against pit bull. Everybody has this thing about pit bulls as if it's a pit bull problem. It's not a pit bull problem. They're great, sweet dogs. At the turn of the century, pit bulls used to be babysitters for children. Yeah. There's pictures, turn of the century, pit bull with the kids. And it's just a thing that people have in their head because every time there's an attack, they say it's a pit bull. And pit bull's a really nice catch-all phrase for a lot of different breeds. And
I was
it's
going
not
to
even
say,
true.
there's a lot.
I mean, they're terriers, there's American bulldog. And you have a lot of really ignorant people. So.
Well, hopefully you and others are letting people know, what they can do and how to be aware of the bad things. And so many people get pets, and then they just leave them, abandon them, and I don't understand that. I love animals, so I don't have any here because I don't even know where I'm going to be. Really, you know what I'm saying?
I know. It's difficult when you don't know that. When I moved cross country from New Jersey, and I first lived in Las Vegas, I had 6 cats and 2 dogs, my original German Shepherd and Rottweiler, and everybody moved in an RV with me. But people would say to me, well, why did you move your animals? Because they're my family. I don't really comprehend anything else, but when you have a lot of rules and restrictions at places, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say this, but I never tell the truth about how many cats I have when I'm renting a house. So
Well, of
I
course.
I don't tell the truth. I don't even mention I have cats. So
Yeah, I have a friend like that. She built this whole. There was this long outside patio, and she screened it all in for her cats, and really did a beautiful job. She was out in Culver City, and she had a dog with the cats. I really had it great. Then the landlord sold the place on it, right? It was just unbelievable what she did. But I feel bad. I have hummingbirds that come here. I feed, and I have a couple squirrels down there that count. They look up, and I throw them the peanuts. And they do. They come and they wait for me.
They know squirrels are the best. They start knowing. Okay, this is where I go get mice.
Right. They're here early in the morning, and then late at night, and they'll look up and wait for me to. Or they'll see me through the window and they'll climb down that pole over there, and I'll keep a bag of peanuts there. I threw some unshelled peanuts this morning. One that just looked at me, and one that wasn't.
Yeah, they do.
You're getting special now, and I feel bad. And the birds, they come. I feed them the bread, this and that. They like that honey sweet bread.
Yes.
They love that.
Yes.
So when I get it on sale, the day old bread, when I see it, I buy a bunch of it, and they just eat it right up. And I feel guilty, it took me like 8 months to get the hummingbirds to come, hanging the thing up there now, and I'll be leaving, so. But they
always find.
Yeah, but I don't.
It's different from back east where they say if you're going to start feeding, if you feed birds or squirrels, especially the birds, because they leave before the weather starts to change, you better keep on feeding them because some of them don't leave.
Don't leave, yeah.
So my parents have hummingbird feeders and massive amounts of feeders and things around because my father's the chief now of rescuing. He found a parakeet. Somebody let their parakeet go, I guess, and he found a parakeet almost near death's door, and now they have a parakeet, 4 cats, and.
I was always rescuing the bumblebees out of the pool, because as soon as they hit the pool, they can't get out of there.
Yeah.
There's something about that chlorine. All the other bigger waspiness, they get out. But I would go to the pool in the mornings and get them before they, be unconscious. I put them. Some of them lived, some of them didn't. But I always felt bad for that. And people don't realize how many bees we're losing because of pools alone.
Yeah.
Forget the insecticide or whatever it is that they spray. But people don't realize that. Bees are very important.
It's super important. Super important. Yeah.
And the pools do that. And if you've ever been in an airplane and you look down, you never see anybody in the pool.
No.
You ever see anything in the pool?
No, when I lived in Las Vegas, I had a pool in my rental house before I bought a house, and I think I was in it twice.
I mean, people, I always notice that in a plane, especially when it's coming down. You look down, I don't see nobody in the pool. All you do is get thousands upon pools. And that's all them. I never understood it. So before we get a little more of the animals, I want to let people know, how do they get in touch with you? To be legit and this and that. I like this, it's very lovely.
Thank you. It's costume jewelry.
Oh, it's nice.
Well, on Facebook, you can just Facebook Kingsley.
Spell it for the audience.
So it's K as in Kim, I, N as in Nancy, G, S as in Sam, L-E-Y. On Facebook, and if you're interested in adopting a dog or a cat, a lot of people want to adopt, but they don't want to go to the shelter because it's upsetting. And you just do the can-do part. You know that you're saving. You just do the part you can do. You save the one you can. But if you're interested in adopting, just Facebook message me. I can take messages, and I will get back to you, and we'll find the right animal for you.
Is there a website or anything like that you have?
No. I just work with a lot of different people, and I do a lot of transport.
Yeah.
I just transported 2 cats to a feral community that was over by Victorville, so it was like 75 miles each way. And I don't charge any money for that. I just do. I transported a Rottweiler to a rescue in Merced County, and it was 300 miles one way.
One way?
Yeah.
That's 600 miles.
In one day, yeah. Because our youth rate in LA is so dismal. Like there's a shelter in San Bernardino County, DeVore, and San Bernardino City Shelter. They're awful shelters. They're terrible, and our youth rate can be 80 to 90%. So animals come in, they become available, and they're often killed the same day they're available. So they don't even get a chance.
Really?
And that's what people don't understand. Like in LA, we have Carson, and Carson Animal Care Center, Downey. These are LA City shelters. There's county shelters. Baldwin Park being a little less bad than the other two. But those two in particular, Downey and Carson. South LA shelter. I mean, those are ones that get put down. You have a youth rate on pit bulls over 90%.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I could never go there. It's one of the reasons why I always tell women are so much stronger than men. I don't know how you do it. I could never walk in the shelter and have them dogs look at me. I have trouble looking at the ones you post online.
You just know it is difficult, but you just know that you're doing the can-do part. Like, you can't save them all, and you're just doing whatever, I feel God directed. So, okay, I just do the can-do part, and I keep, even if you just post, like, you repost things. So I have friends that love animals, and and they don't do anything. They don't post, they don't pledge, they don't share. So everybody does a little something. More animals get pushed out of the shelter system. I think the biggest thing would be if we could change the way landlords are or aren't allowed to let you have an animal. I just think that that's wrong, and I think more people would probably have pets if they knew wherever they lived they could have their pet.
Right.
So I think that's
They're doing that with restaurants now.
Are they?
In LA, there's a law, as long as they're not, like if we have outdoor and this and that, they're allowing animals.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, just not too long ago, and I thought about the animal rights people. They must. I know there's a place across the street that it's always packed. It's called Eat, and they bring the animals.
Okay.
They have it, but I mean, I saw it on TV. They were talking about it, and I thought, wow, that's great. And you're right. I mean, landlords, you should be allowed to have an animal. I don't understand it. I mean,
it's like anything else. You enforce the rules. If you had somebody who was living in your space and didn't have an animal and was disruptive or destructive, everybody has the right to quiet enjoyment of their space. So you're in an apartment, they can be kicked out. You can terminate the lease for whatever reason, for cause. So it's the same thing. If they're not taking care of their pet or there's a problem, then that's when I think it should go. Have some way to, enforce it, but let people have it. Even down to having cats. People can't have a cat somewhere. I mean, what's lower maintenance than a cat?
You're right, yeah.
And they're still very loving creatures, but they're low maintenance.
They say it's, allergies, and a lot of it's bullshit. But I think it all comes back from the days of before the pooper scooper.
Yes.
Really. Because as a kid growing up, I remember walking down, all you saw was dog shit and cigarette butts. And all
Yes.
that is gone today. Both
Yes.
cigarettes and
Yes.
dog shit. I watch the people over here, and they pick it up, and it's and so that stigma of shit all over the place is really gone.
Yeah, no, I don't really see it anymore. I walk my dogs around. I don't see it too much. We see it a little bit, but not like, no.
What I'm talking about, it's in the mental part of
Yes.
landlords.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
It's still that mentality of,
Yes.
I don't want to be walking, I don't want them shitting in my yard or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that has to be changed somehow. And it's people like you who have to get out there and we let people know that they can change it. They have to do something to change that. You have to, animals, I had someone on the show the other day and we were talking, and she didn't agree with me, but I said, you know what? This earth would be so much better if we were people-less.
Well, it's just
I'm in favor of
I
that,
think
man.
I just read something earlier. It was, I don't know how many elephants a month are getting killed in Africa.
yes.
It's insane.
The poaching, all for somebody to make some ivory statue.
Yes.
When then it's the rhinos for somebody to get an erection.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Viagra today.
Yes.
If you need a rhino to get an erection, you're in trouble, pal.
Yes.
I mean and you kill that whole animal for that. And the poachers, they need it because they need the money. I don't know where the soul is. I can hurt people. I have no problem with that. I can't hurt an animal. I just don't understand how you can do that.
Yeah.
You look at them. I mean, they look at you, right?
They like you no matter what.
Yeah, unconditional love
Yes.
is right.
They're the only ones.
I had somebody on YouTube yesterday. It was about this woman that was with these. It must have been 6 or 7 cheetahs, and they were wanting to attack her, but afraid and this and that. And it took about 5 minutes commercial. The tape, but in the end, she got set down. They came over to her, and they all started chatting and this and that.
Yes.
And it was just beautiful because to watch how she did that. I'll find it again. Maybe I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It was really good. So how do you do your acting?
How do I
And how do you do? And I know you keep in shape. I see that. You love to work out.
I go to the gym at 4:30. Well, I get up at 4:30, so I get to the gym by 5:30.
5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like to get to the gym a little earlier than 5:30, but generally by 5:30. I got to get up, do some stuff. I'm not going to go to the gym looking like a total slag, so fix myself up a little bit. And then I go to the gym.
And how many times a week do you do this?
Normally 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Normally Monday through Friday.
I do it. I work out here, and as myself, I don't know. I do my push-ups and this and then I have the pulleys. I hook up to the door
Okay.
and pull them. And it keeps me in shape anyway. But that's good to know. What about your acting?
So, well,
Why did you stop becoming an actor?
when I was growing up, I was always a dancer. And I always wanted to sing and act, but I didn't tell anybody because I was very shy. And I was real smart, so I was initially going to school to be an attorney, which is funny because I could never do that. And I finally admitted to my mom when I was when I was in college that I wanted to be an actor. Well, actually, I didn't say I wanted to be an actor. I said I wanted to be a star, and she just looked at me like, okay. And so then I started taking acting classes, and my very first class was in improv, and a teacher said to me, and it was very embarrassing, but she said in front of everybody, you have that it thing, whatever that thing is.
Presence. Yeah.
And then I started taking acting classes, HB Studio, where Uda was.
Right, yeah.
And I sat in on tons of Uda's classes, and then I started studying with Stephen Strumpel, who was with Uda as well at the time.
Bill Hickey?
I didn't study with Bill, no, I didn't study with Bill Hickey, but Stephen was a big one. That was for 2 years. And, I write as well. I produced stuff when I was in New York, and now that I've been out here, I built up my my resume and my reel, but what I'm doing now is I'm going to start self-producing. A partner and I've written a dinner theater murder mystery. We're going to do that up in Valencia at a Marie Callender's, end of October. I think October 27th is the date, and it's going to be dinner and a show. And our company is Suspicions Inc., so it's murder and a meal. So
Murder and a meal.
And that I'm also going to produce. I'm probably going to produce Nonsense as well with several other females, and I'm just starting to do my own things again.
Good for you. Now, you say, where is this Maria Callender's at?
It's in Valencia.
Oh, Valencia.
Yes.
Now, is that the only one there? Is there a street?
Yeah, it's on the old road over by the Six Flags or Magic Mountain or whatever.
So this is going to be in October.
Yes, end of October. I can give you the information as soon as we just started to build the website and everything, and I've written the show.
And what's the name of the show?
This is going to be okay. So remember Willy Wonka?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know that we could use the name Willy Wonka, but it's based on it, so it's Wally Wanker. And who killed Wally Wanker? Because it turns out he's not a very nice guy. He's not the nice, benevolent candy man that you think. And so everybody's aged appropriately, about 30 years or so. So we have Charlie and Veruca and Violet and Mike TV and all those characters, and one of them killed Wally Wanker.
Now, have you already cast it?
I have two parts open.
Well, what are they? Maybe they.
So I need a Veruca, and Veruca would be along the lines of if anybody's watched Ab Fab, the character of Patsy on Ab Fab.
The blonde.
Yes.
Always drinking.
Yes, and I also need a Mike TV. So somewhere in the late 30s, early 40s range.
Mike Peasy. So it sounds almost Italian.
Mike TV.
Oh, Mike TV.
Yes.
Oh, so in the 30s. So get in touch with her.
Yes.
Dinner theater. God, I haven't heard that expression.
I work with another company doing murder mysteries, and when I have a degree in finance, so I used to be a financial analyst. So whenever I'm doing anything, my brain's always going, okay, how much would that earn? How much does that cost? And we were doing shows at Larry's in Beverly Hills, and I know how much the tickets cost, and I figure how much he's going to get, and then I figure out what he's paying me, and I thought, why don't I just produce this myself instead of getting some paltry sum of money and hire other actors and pay them a little bit better than I'm being paid, and produce it myself. So that's the whole.
What about that Go Indie? It's a website where you.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah. People who donate money for your show, you give them credit.
Okay. Well, actually, one of the next things I want to do is do a web series that's going to be following women of all different ages that are in transitions in their life. Maybe one person's got divorced, one person's in her 70s, because I know a great actress in her 70s and dating again, and everybody's transition in their lives into new relationships.
I'd be interested myself. The Glendale International Festival, it's October 9th, 10th, and 11th. Actually, I'll be there doing interviews. She was on the show, Velvet Rose Productions. Her name is Velvet Rose. You should get in touch with her. I'll hook you up with it.
Okay.
Because they want submissions now.
Okay.
For the internet, and they have judges and this and that.
Okay.
It's going to be over in Glendale.
Okay.
It's their first year. She was on the show the other day, last week. My voice, excuse me. And it's just amazing that, you should do that. It's called, I'll hook you up with her on Facebook.
Okay.
Velvet Rose.
Okay.
Rhodes, like Rhodes Scholar.
Okay.
She's from England, wonderful. She does web series, everything.
Okay.
Okay.
I just think in this day and age, you got to start doing a lot of your own.
You have to. If you don't do it, nobody's going to do it for you.
No. And I had an agent just recently, and having an agent, they're salespeople. So if they don't have any pull or they're not good salespeople, they're not going to get you anywhere. And she didn't. She's very lovely, but it didn't help at all. And I get more work on my own. So I still have to find an agent in case anybody's looking for a redhead.
Me too. I had a very good agent, but he became a rabbi, and now he's totally a rabbi. He gave up the industry.
Okay.
He used to be a big agency, Epstein Wyckoff.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
So Craig Wyckoff, he became a rabbi, and he was doing both.
Okay.
No, he stopped.
Yes.
So I'm looking for an agent, but managers seems to be the way to go, and self-promote.
Yes.
You
Absolutely.
have to.
Yes.
You know, I put on a 5-minute monologue I did. I put it up there. Hopefully, it gets some reviews. And I'm trying to find a place now, the next month, where we can keep this show going, because it's catching on, and we need people to come on. And you don't have an outlet like this really out there, where you can come on and
Yes.
talk about what you're doing and don't have to promote anything.
No, no, and then when I do the next murder mystery, I definitely could use a type like you for a character that would be like an investigator, you know.
I'm a good investigator.
Yeah, so, you know, keep that in mind.
But you're true, so, I mean, you do so many things all at once here. I mean,
Yeah,
between driving 600 miles in a day
yeah.
and taking them.
Well, when I drive 600 miles or I drive to animals to rescue, it's just sort of my meditation time. You know, just by myself, and it's my way of giving back. I would like to give back more. I mean, eventually I'd like to have a big property where I have a rescue.
That would be really.
That's the goal in the next few years.
It's a wonderful goal, and I hope the people out there hear that, because that's what we need. You know, I love these animal rescue farms where you see like chimpanzees and
Yes.
all elephants. They'll go for the first time, and they, you know.
Well, we have that up in Agua Dulce. You know, Tippi Hedren has the
Right.
Shambhala, the big cat rescue. I haven't been up there yet, but she's committed her life to that.
Life to that.
Yeah.
Because it is, that's why I said, where do you get the time? Because it is almost like a full-time job.
Yeah, the 10 pets I have is. I mean, I'm in the zone with them. I make them all their own food too.
You make their food?
Yeah. So they eat better than I do. I'll just have a protein shake, and it's like, okay, gotta make them food. If I'm short on money, I'll buy the meat for their food before I eat.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's all special diet for each
Yeah, it's
one?
all raw.
Raw.
Yeah, raw and vegetables and stuff. And yeah, they eat like they're supposed to biologically. Because just because they're in a house doesn't mean that their insides have changed any. They're still supposed to eat biologically appropriate foods.
So the canned dog food and all that is not good for them?
Pretty much no. Anything you get from the supermarket, like Alpo, Alpo, pedigree, all that stuff's crap. I mean, it's really bad. It's just bad. It's when they say poultry byproducts or meat byproducts, what is a byproduct? It's like entrails, beaks. It's not actually meat. It's nothing good. There's nothing good about it. It's food that's not suitable for human consumption.
Like frankfurters.
It's worse than frankfurt. A
Worse.
frankfurter would be like a steak compared to canned dog
Really?
food or cat food. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really bad. So I mean, if you go to a Petco or one of those and you buy the higher quality organic foods, those are better. You know, people don't want to make, or they're also selling raw food that's pre-made that you can buy, but that's costly for me at this point. So it's cheaper for me to make it. So I make
A lot of these places are opening up. I know on Santa Monica and Santa Monica and Fairfax. It's dogs only. It's called.
Yeah. There is that. Yeah, right by the Whole Foods.
Right. Well, it's on the other side of
So
the
the
street.
Whole Foods, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, and everywhere you go now, that seems to be the new thing. There's one over here too, just for dogs.
Yeah.
The street. I mean, it seems to be a new phenomenon. The fad is for cats or for dogs. You would think they would have for everything. All
Yeah.
animals.
Well, it's they have to be taken care of a certain way. You know, I just see changes in them when I feed them a certain way. Like my dogs this morning got raw chicken legs for breakfast. They got four each.
Not with the bones.
Yeah, it's fine. If the bones aren't cooked, it's fine. Cooked bones, bad.
Oh.
Raw bones, fine.
Really? Why is that?
Because it doesn't splinter. So it's fine.
I never knew that.
So they eat, and they need to eat bone. So if they're eating a biologically appropriate diet, a cat or a dog, say a cat killed a bird, they're gonna eat the meat, the bone, and they're going to have the stomach contents, which is where the vegetable is. So a biologically appropriate diet is going to mirror that. So it's mostly going to be protein and bone, and then a little bit of vegetable matter. So that's how they get fed. Cats are higher protein, obviously, content than dogs.
Really?
And then dogs are omnivores, so they eat anything. Like my dogs don't discern anything. They'll eat cat poop if they could, you know.
Oh, yeah, dogs. Dogs will eat anything.
Yeah.
Cats won't.
Yeah, cats are.
Well, they'll stop when
they're
they're
carnivores, and there's people I know that they want to try to make their animals herbivores, vegetarian or vegan. And it's